Well, this is the final run of the model train PLC project. Very shortly this is all going to be torn out because it's being transferred to my around the wall layout. Right now I've got the multiple operations running, which in a previous video I explained all that, which right now it's on operation 3, alternating the main and the team track trains. One thing to note is the blue D&H unit, which I've always nicknamed the Goofy Guy, has developed another problem. As you can see, it's running really sluggish and almost stalling at this corner. Its rear traction motor is going bad. I mean, during the course of developing PLC programs, because the fact this locomotive was always goofy in the way it reacted with its forward and reverse, I actually used it a lot for testing programs. And well, one of its motors is worn out, and but I did finally locate replacement motors, so soon I'll be able to put new motors in it and she'll be good to go again. Well, right now the team train's starting up rather robustly, but it'll work. So, what's going to happen now? Well, all this, got a little stall. All this is going to be unwired, and now we got a complete stall. So, we'll just shut it down for the time being. Anyway, the plan is the PLC controls are going to be mounted on the wall of the living room, and I'm going to use these two backing pieces of plastic. One thing I didn't account for on the terminal block was because during the development of the project I have a lot of these remote terminals. Well, I have one there on the south side and a big one here. All the cabling for the around the wall layout are home runs back to these two controls, so I don't have enough commons or DC pluses, so I had to build another terminal block because I don't have any more room. Mounted it right now on the side of this, but I may move this. I don't know, I'll figure that out when I actually mount it and see what looks the best, because I mean that right now doesn't look to be very clean, and since this is going to be its permanent home, I want it to look nice. As for the engineer control panel, that is going to be moved, and I'm going to mount it permanently to this little wooden table. What I also have is all the cabling coming down from the layout. I'm going to have two of these mounted on the wall, so all the cabling is going to come through, be zip tied, and be done nice and neat with strain relief. And these are extra signals that I don't need right now, but I did modify them to work on 24 volts. This little 3-aspect signal, though, is a little bit different in the fact that this can actually be connected to two block detects directly without PLC control, because I have relay control in there to trip the signals as the train passes through. So I could theoretically add this onto the layout, and it would not require any wiring back to the PLC because it would run independently. So while that guy, see if I could get her restarted. I think I'm kind of developing a little dead spot here in the corner, so it's well, hang on. Restarted the operation. Right now it's just getting the mainline train to run forward, and as you can see, she's starting to really struggle, and now throwing a warning that it took too long to sense its movement in the block, but it'll be okay now. Yeah, once I put new motors in it, this should be fine. Unfortunately, the little geep there in the corner right behind the photo eye I had to take it off the layout because it actually threw its traction tire. So I have to replace that. So I replaced it. I got this guy used at a train show, and the guy called it questionable if it was runnable, a Pennsylvania railroad. But the circuitry and the motors are actually pretty much the same and very similar to the RS3s. So I was actually thinking originally of just using it for parts, but after working on it and cleaning it up, it actually runs really good. And you'll see it once the train operations switch to the next one, which right now it's on the first one, which is just simply running the mainline train. And as I explained in the last video, it's making 3 cycles around the track before it's going to hand off to the alternating run, which is then going to let each train run on the layout 3 times, switch, run the other train 3 times, but do that a total of 3 times. So as you see now, it's just handed off to the next operation. So you're going to see mainline train is going to be brought in and stopped, and then this guy will have a chance to run. But yeah, then that 6-inch HMI is going to be installed in this pedestal. I got everything ready to go, and cabling is made up. Some of the other cabling, mainly that'll go between the 2 panels. And I'm also going to have a nice power switch, which I'm going to mount on the backing. So a lot of wiring is ahead, but like I said, this way, this table actually folds out of the way, so I can actually just stand it up again on the corner. And because it automatic controls, I don't need to do anything with the engineer control panel. This is this is mainly only needed for manual control, but it does have to work because the PLC controls of the switches and the track power are routed through here. As I explained in a previous video, that this determines whether the engineer control panel has control or the PLC. So this here is the final run of the model train PLC project. It's been fun, and it'll soon be the around the wall layout. See how that goes.